When we talk about video editing, most people think it's just throwing effects, music, and basically wasting money. But that couldn't be further from the truth. As someone who created over 1,000 pieces of content for me and my clients, I can tell you that video editing isn't something complicated or unnecessary. It's just animation, text, or icon that help viewer understand what's being said easily. Because the real goal is to keep them watching for as long as possible, and when they hear CTA, they actually click the link. So today I will show you how to turn a boring video into professional one, and with a strong idea and script actually attract your ICP. So without being said, let's get into the video. In this video we will talk about why your video looks amateur and how to fix them. So I'll start with question that most people ask: is video editing dead? So everyone online loves to say editing is dead or just post raw. That's what works now. And that's only half true, to be honest. Editing isn't dead, bad generic editing is dead. What actually works is editing that matches the experience your audience wants. So some audience are here for the raw, authentic feel. Other audience want TikTok brain, constant movement, zooms, and text flying everywhere. So like Mr. Beast audience. If you copy someone else's style without thinking about your ICP, your editing will always feel wrong, either too boring or way too chaotic. So in this video, I'm not here to argue raw versus heavy retention. I want to show you how to edit in a way that fits your audience, your topic, and your offer, especially if you're B2B or B2C and you actually care about conversions, not just views. So we don't care about metrics like views, likes, etc. We only care about conversions, about revenue that every video does for our business. So let's quickly compare the two extremes. On one side, you got a raw authenticity, so long clips, minimal cuts, almost no effects. Feels like you spend time with someone like Sam Sulek does. On the other side, you got fully retention optimized edits, jump cuts every second, subtitles, memes, zoom, sound effects like Mr. Beast style. And both can work. For example, Sam Sulek has big audience with raw authenticity, long clips, minimal cuts videos, and Mr. Beast has the biggest channel on YouTube with jump cuts every second, subtitles, memes, zoom. So both can work, but it varies because of audience. So if your viewer is scrolling for entertainment, education, or money-making info, zero editing will lose them in 30 seconds max. So instead of asking which side is right, ask what experience does my ideal viewer want from me, or ICP. That answers decides everything about your editing style on your channel. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I edit for most of my B2B and B2C clients. These are brands and creators who don't want pure raw vlogs, don't want crazy Mr. Beast edits, but want something in between, something that converts, so build trust, holds attention, and actually drives clicks and sales. So I will break it down into 5 parts. So first part is how to edit hook, then how to edit body, mid CTA, outro, and a little bonus, so watch this video entirely. So before that, we need the basics. When I say basics, I mean what A-roll and B-roll is. So A-roll is your main footage, usually you're talking to camera or your screen if it's tutorial. B-roll, everything that supports your main footage, so extra clips, screenshots, animations, text on screen. So B-roll has one job: make what you're saying more visual and less boring, because no one wants to watch boring videos. If your A-roll is just you talking for 10 minutes straight, people will either click off or mentally check out. So B-roll keeps their brain engaged and constantly reminds them, hey, this part is important, stay with me. So there is different types of B-rolls. First one is personal B-roll, footage of you working, walking, writing, building, talking to a client on a sales call, for example. This builds a relationship and authenticity. Then stock footage. This is lazy version but still useful if done right. So use it when you don't have your own footage, but keep it relevant and make sure it's a good quality, 4K for example. Then animation is the type of B-roll. So we have 2D, 3D, text animations, UI elements, and they great for info heavy content and client work. The key is variation. If you show one type of B-roll for 60 seconds straight, that's boring. If you show animation every 5 seconds, that's overwhelming. By the way, if content is taking up way too much of your time and still don't attract the right ICP, this is exactly what we fix. Most business owners spend hours creating content that doesn't convert or they don't post at all. We handle everything from strategy, research, ideas, scripting, editing, SEO, thumbnails, and posting, and you only need to record 2 to 3 hours of content per month, and we turn that into a content system that attract the right clients. If you want to explore working with us, click the first link in description. So that's it, now back to the video. First section is how to edit the hook. So the hook is the most important part of the entire video. I know that everyone says that, but it's actually 100% true. If your hook fails, nothing else matters. No one sees your amazing editing later. So when I'm editing, I honestly spend 70% of my effort on the first minute of the video. So when you're editing the hook, of course, remove every single pause, remove every filler word that doesn't help the point, and cut straight into the value, so you can be more relaxed later in the body, but the hook has to feel punchy, tight, and crystal clear. So visual editing for the hook. On the visual side, the hook has to look intentional. So here's what I like to do. Start with the instant zoom in or zoom out. Most likely zoom out. Very fast cuts, 8 types of animations all the time. So what is a type of animation? This is the best animation you got. So it's amazing and explain what's being said on the video. Text callouts to emphasize keywords plus numbers. When you say in today's video I will show you, visual preview it. So screen share, flash the doc fast plus big text later in the video, or talking head flash a quick preview clip of the animations / results. So goal is to create curiosity so they think, wait, I need to see how he gets there. So if you're talking about results or case studies, show as many screenshots and social proof in the hook as possible. So dashboards, Stripe screenshots, YouTube analytics, client messages. So you need to show proof that things you talk about is 100% true. You're not flexing, you're building trust. So you don't flex by showing this notification, you build trust. The viewer should think, okay, this person actually does this, not just talks about it. So in order to do the same, I need to listen to his advice because he did it. And of course, the important part is sound design. Most people ignore it, but you shouldn't. So most editors obsess about video but ignore sound design. That's a mistake. Sound is a cheat code for attention. There are studies from film marketing that show adding sound effects and the right music boosts emotional engagement and memory. People literally remember more what they hear, not just see more. So add whooshes for camera movements, add subtle hits on important words or cuts. Then the music has to match the emotion and rhythm of the hook. If the topic is urgent or money related, slightly higher tempo, more tension. If it's deep, reflective, content slower, then of course cleaner. A good test is turn off sound effects and music, and with sound the hook should feel at least twice as alive. That's it for the hook. I will show you some examples of the great hooks. I found this as a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So for example, watch this intro.
A content agency can generate $30,000 to $40,000 per month with just a handful of clients. In fact, I went from 0 to 93.5K a month in 15 months with my own content agency.
And then here's another example of like later in the video.
But Google Maps from my computer. I'm going to show you my exact process for finding $1,000 a month.
Look at these animations and look at this
including
screen
the parking
share.
lot test I use to qualify businesses before I ever make contact.
So that's it for the hook. Let's start with the editing the body. So the body of your video can be a screen share or talking head or a mix of both. So what I'm about to say applies to all of them. Cut every pauses, cut repetitions, cut filler words, and keep your thoughts clean and moving forward. So don't cut the rhythm because of filler word or because of pause. Cut all of them. So the goal of the body is simple. Deliver value without giving the viewer any reason to click away. You don't have to edit the body as aggressively as the hook, but you also can get lazy. Let's split in two, screen share body and talking head body. Screen share body. So screen share is probably the most boring format by default. And this video is a screen share. So it's literally reading or clicking throughout documents. So if you want people to stay, your value has to be higher than any other format. So people already think reading a doc on screen is boring. So your job is to edit to prove them wrong. Because screen share is flat, you need to keep it alive. Here's what I like to do. Underline key sentences while I talk about them. So for example like this. Circle important numbers, headline or button. Use zoom in or zoom out to guide the eye. This is not for just engagement, it's also for clarity. So sometimes text is small. Zoom helps them actually read it. Highlighting tells the viewer exactly what to focus on. It makes them feel like you're guiding them, not just dropping information. For screen share, you don't need crazy effects, you need clean cuts, clear highlights, and a lot of value. Like for example this video and my previous one. So when we talk about talking head body, talking head is the opposite problem. It's just your face talking for 5 to 20 minutes, maybe less, maybe higher. Even if you're good on camera, that's get boring fast if the edit is lazy. So for the body of talking head videos, I like to add b-roll that visuals what I'm saying, use text callouts for frameworks, numbers, quotes. Add B or C type of animation. So you need A type of animations sometimes, but generally use B or C type. So B is less impressive than A, but visually explains what's being said in the video, and C is only explain. It's not that cool, but explain what's being said. The main point of animation is to explain the viewer what's being said in the video, and then B is more cooler version of that, and the A version is the coolest, the best animation you got. But here's the important part. Don't overdo it just to look like a retention edit. If there's too much happening on screen, the viewer can actually process your message. Your editing should support the thought, not compete with it. So how to decide where to add effects? Here's a simple way to decide where to add animations or b-roll. So when you watch your own edit back, pretend you're the viewer, not the creator. So ask yourself, at what exact second do I feel slightly bored? Where does something feel confusing or too abstract? Where does my mind wander? Those are the moments when you add b-roll or illustrate the idea. So you put animations or cut the explanation shorter if it's too long. So if you never do viewer pass, you're either under-edit or completely over-edit. Next is sound design and music. For body, sound design doesn't stop after the hook. During the body, add sound effects for each animations, use whooshes, clicks, paper flips, UI, sound effects, keep them quiet and smooth so they blend with the visuals. You want harmony, not noise. For music, there's a big mistake I see, using the same 2 to 3 tracks for the whole video. Instead, try this. So change tracks based on the emotion of each section. Use lighter music when you explain something calm. Use more intense music when you show results, proof, or urgency. Switch tracks for key transitions so the viewers feel the shift. So for example, if you talk about some sad moment, you put sad music and then you transition to a transformation, you're achieving your goals, etc. You put motivational music. This small change alone can help your attention because the video feels like chapters, not one long monotone block. Bonus points: if you have 2 camera angles for talking head, you can cut between them to keep things dynamic without always relying on B-roll. And here's the mid CTA. So this is just a short pitch in the middle of the body, and honestly, you don't need to do anything crazy with editing here, so keep it simple. On screen, show your call to action, click the first link in description, book a call, download the free resource, say it clearly once, then go straight back to the value. So don't drag it out or you will train people to skip this part in every video you record. So a good example on how to edit mid CTA you can actually see in this video. So look at carefully, scanning my CTA and then doing your way. And the last part is outro. So the outro is part everyone overthinks. To be honest, only a small percentage of the viewer reached the very end. The one who do already like the video. They're not saying because of some crazy 3D animations at the end. So for the outro, keep the edit simple and fast. Switch to a slightly different track to signal we're wrapping up. Give one clear call to actions. So watch the next video, join our email list, check the link in the description. For example, in the outro, what you can actually do is to summarize up things you said in the video. You can put animations that summarize up what you've been said in the video. So editing as a multiplier. Here's how I want you to think about it. Idea plus script, your base. Good video editing is a multiplier. So editing is only as a multiplier on a good idea and your good script. So if you're interested how to come up with a strong idea and clear script, click the second link in the description. So if your idea is bad, editing can save it. But if your idea is strong and your script is clear, good editing can multiply your results. Or more watch time, more trust, more clicks, more clients. This is exactly how I edit for my clients. We don't chase random virality, we chase videos that convert and still feel good to watch. Now for everyone who stayed until this part, I want to share a little bonus. The backend system that let me edit very fast and will help you too. This is a bonus section, my backend editing system. System 1, file structure and project management. So first thing that made me faster wasn't fancy presets, it was organization. On my drive I have a fixed folder named for the music, sound effects, assets, background, slide leaks, etc. Inside each client folder, every video has its own subfolder. So for example, we have cut for the raw cut, animations, After Effects, motion design, and then sound, final version with sound design in Premiere Pro, let's say. I also use a project manager, Airtable, Trello, or ClickUp, doesn't matter which one. Each video has priority, deadline, status, like add animation, SFX, revision, done, payment status, or type of content. So for example, if it is short form, long form, etc. So this alone stops you from wasting time searching and guessing what's next. What is the next project you do? So system 2 is the speed throughout constraints. So the second system is how I think while editing. Things I stopped doing is rewatching the same sections 20 times just to tweak a one keyframe. You don't need to do that and you shouldn't do that. Spending 30 minutes on one single animation, hunting for the perfect stock clip or icon for an hour, let's say. So overthinking color grading for every clip. I use a simple rule, 5-minute rule. So if I spend more than 5 minutes deciding on one effect or idea, I'm overthinking. I pick the best option I have and move on. So simple beats always fancy. Clients care more about on-time delivery and communication than you look how complex this animation is. That's not a good argument if you say look how complex this animation is. So system 3 is markers and pre-planning. This is one of my favorite hacks for editing faster with better ideas. So most editors start editing, watch a bit, add an effect, watch again, add another and repeat, and waste too much time on it, and that destroys your focus. Instead, I use what I call the mark before method. I watch the entire video once after the rough cut. While watching, I add markers where I know I want. Add an animation, B-roll, text. At each marker, I already roughly decide what I'm going to do here. So when I actually starting animating, there's no guessing, I just execute. You can even color code markers or add short codes like Z1 for soft zoom, T1 for simple text, and B1 for personal B-roll. This alone can save you hours per edit and your video still look more intentional, look more professional. So system 4 is templates and libraries. So if you're rebuilding everything from scratch for every client, you're bumping time for no reason. I keep a library of 4 to 5 quality animated backgrounds I use for every single client, a few lower thirds and callouts animation, my favorite text animations, a folder of transitions, light leaks, glitches, etc. A dedicated folder of music and SFX I know always works, so instead of spending hours making the perfect background, I grab one of my existing ones, maybe tweak it and move on. Every time I create something new I really like for a client, I save it into a library. Over time, your toolbox grows and your editing speed and quality grows with it. System 5. Boundaries in client management. So last thing, and nobody talks about this, your clients affects your speed too. If you let people send unlimited revisions, change their mind 10 times, DM me at 2 AM with small changes, you will always be behind and stressed. You will get sick, so you don't want to. So even if you're still small, start acting like a pro. Set clear turnaround times, decide how many revisions are included, ask for a clear briefs up front, his branding color, fonts that he likes, communicates your working hours. So I work from that hour to that hour. You will get better clients, better projects, and more time to improve your craft instead of fixing chaos. So if you get better clients, you get better payouts, better projects, and more time to find another clients, and more time to create course, for example, or more time to actually rest. This is the all knowledge I have on the editing as a video editor. So if you follow the principles from this video, you will slowly but surely start creating better and better content. And the one important thing I want you to understand is video editing will never be dead. Everything you see on social media is edited, and that makes this skill and a system that everyone needs. With that being said, if you want to apply to work with me and my agency, where we fully hands off your content from ideation to posting, and you only need to record 2 to 3 hours of content per month, click the first link in description, or if you want this exact document and explain this video, click the second one. So that's it for this video. Subscribe for more valuable content and I see you in the next one. Peace.